Okay, you guys, so this is me, Akina, and I wanted to get on here to let you guys know that, um, well, as you guys know, my practice will be temporarily closed, at the end of May until June the 9th to accommodate my family for relocation of my practice. Um, Even though my practice is virtually, I have to make adjustment in our new environment. So my practice will be closed, like I said, um, May the 30th until June the 9th. And as you guys are going to the website, you want to make sure that you are scheduling ahead of time, not because of the time slots. It is because of my current schedule and the fact that my practice will be closed for about a week and a half. Okay. Um, and I just want me and my family to be able to get situated in our new home and to get adjusted to the new environment, and for me to kind of get everything back up and running once we're in our new place. Okay. So it is going to be important that you guys keep a mental date in mind, which I am going to put on the website. I was getting ready to post this announcement on there that in the event that you schedule and you book a session with me um, before May the 23rd, then you would automatically be put on the schedule for May the 23rd to do your follow up, because I do follow ups on Friday. So if you were to schedule any time, you know, before May the 23rd, not in the week of the 23rd, any time in the week uh, before that, for example, you would then be put on the schedule for May the 23rd. I think that's the only day that I have on my calendar for follow ups. And for individuals who book with me the week of the 23rd and so on, being that my practice will be closed on the 30th until June the 9th, you would be put on the schedule for June the 13th, which I did add. Now, typically, if my practice was open, I would see you on the 7th. But being that my practice will be closed that first week in June, um, you would then be scheduled to see me on June the 13th. And for those who, schedule with me at the end of May, you just so happily book with me at the end of May, your first wellness session would be on June the 20th. Okay, which is my normal regular schedule. So my advice to you guys, because I see my clients every other week for follow-ups, and for my current clients who have already had their first follow-up with me on May the 23rd, your next follow-up would be on June the 13th. Okay. And in each appointment that I have with you guys, I would let you know when I'm scheduled to see. So that way you're not booking on the wrong date. And this is something that I do with all of my clients, regardless if you do go in and you book. It is to kind of keep you on track, because those follow ups are done every other Friday. I don't see my clients every week. I see you guys twice a month, every other Friday. Okay. So my advice would be to get on the calendar. Okay. Get on my booking calendar. Get your 15-minute wellness consultation with me. Get your paperwork in. Get on the calendar so that you can at least get your first follow up out the way for May the 23rd, because that is literally the only day that I have available for May to do any follow ups before I'm temporarily closed. And a week and a couple of days is quite a bit of time, okay, with me being out, and then, for me to kind of see you guys. And it's the same thing. If you do book in that first week, that last week in May, after the 23rd, you book any sessions with me. I think that I will be doing intakes and all of that last Monday of May, right? I'm not looking at a calendar, but I'm assuming and thinking that my calendar will still be open for intakes. Even if you get an intake with me that Monday, or you schedule and you book with me that last week in May, it's going to be the same thing. I am not going to see you on June the 13th. I would see you on June the 20th. And like I said, I will let you guys know that each time you have an appointment with me and I am filling out your chart, I will include those dates on your paperwork. And that's to kind of keep things going with my schedule, kind of keep you on track. I'm on track. And we can kind of move forward without there being any confusion. But I am going to put a little announcement on my website to let people know that if you book with me, even if you book with me the week of the 23rd, it's still going to be the same thing. It's still going to be the same thing. Even if you book with me at the end of May, the last week of my practice temporarily closing, I think I'm going to be open that Thursday, and then that Friday up until June the 9th, I'm going to be closed. Okay. So my advice would be for you guys to, like I said, get your 15-minute intake done. Get your paperwork in. And the 15-minute intake is really if you have any questions, really if you just need more clarity about how my services work, how I can benefit you. That's really what the 15-minute intake is really for. It is optional. It is not required. It's just another option there that I give all of my clients if they have any more questions before they book with me. The main thing that you guys want to do is you want to really get your paperwork in. Once you get your paperwork in, you get everything submitted in, and you get on the calendar, I can pretty much move forward from there with getting you on the calendar and getting your first wellness session booked. And then from there, your follow-up would be booked. So like I said, my advice would be to keep these dates in mind. Okay. Individuals who have had their first follow-up with me on the 23rd, their next follow-up would be on June the 13th. And if you've never had a follow-up with me at all, you would then have your first follow-up session with me on June the 20th. And then from there, you would have your next follow-up, I believe, on July the 11th, I believe. And it's just kind of how things are going to be for my clients. It's really depending on when you schedule your first session with me and all of that. But I'm not going to change my schedule. Okay. What's going to happen, you would just be pushed out due to these changes and the temporary closure. That's what would happen. Okay. And this is to kind of keep current clients on track. New clients coming in would have to adapt to these changes. So no, July the 11th would not be for your second follow-up. If you have your first follow-up on June the 20th, it would be the next following week after July the 11th. And I'm not looking at a calendar to know my next availability after June the 11th for follow-ups. It may be in the middle of July or at the end of July, but that's when you would see me again for your next follow-up. Because like I said, I see clients twice a month. Okay. Current clients will have the benefits of getting the first availability at the beginning of the month. And for new clients coming in, you would be at the middle and the end of the month. That's kind of how this is playing out. But this little guide will kind of help you guys when you're getting ready to schedule, so that you're not scheduling on a day where either I'm closed or this is your first follow-up with me. So even if you schedule in the first week of May, like the 23rd week, it would still be the same thing, June the 20th. And even if you book with me, after the 23rd, and you've missed that follow-up appointment, that follow-up day that I normally have on my schedule, your day would still be June the 20th. Okay. So as far as I know, I don't have any more closure dates for the month of June. And then going into July, I know that there will be another little closure of the practice, but it's going to be towards the end of July. It's also going to change my workshop dates and things like that because of what's going on. And I did have some dates in mind that is on the website. So I'm actually going to look back at that just to see those dates that I have listed for my 2 workshops. I know that I had a workshop for June and then I had one for August, but I will be moving the first workshop to July. Sometime in July, I will be doing that. I know that I have group sessions that will be done in the month of June. So I'm actually going to be putting some dates out there for the group sessions that will be done twice a month. They're not going to be done weekly. They're going to be done every other week on Saturdays. So you guys want to keep a little mental note of that, because I will be putting an announcement on the website for that group sessions will be done every other Saturday. My intentions was to do it every Saturday, but being that I will be doing other things on the website and other things I have going on, those group sessions will be done every other Saturday, and they will be for 1 hour. And the timing is not going to change. It's just the number of times per month is going to be changing. Another thing I will be putting on the website is a little update about the newsletter, which I will be putting on the website either tomorrow or Monday. I will be posting that to the website. It's not going to have all of this information on there. And this is why I'm telling you guys, when you go over there, you make sure you create an account so that you can keep up with these important dates and website updates and things like that. Because like I said, the last thing that I want you to do is go and schedule with me for a follow-up and you haven't had one with me and you're following up on the wrong date. Okay. This is why it's important that you guys definitely keep this in mind if you're booking. My advice would be, when you do book with me, you go right ahead and book your follow-up. And just keep it in mind that if you book anytime after May the 23rd, you need to do your follow-up appointment on June the 20th. If you book with me the week of the 23rd, it's the same thing. Your follow-up with me would be June the 20th, your first follow-up. Individuals who book with me in the first week of May, the first and second week of May, your follow-up would be on the 23rd, and then again on June the 13th. Okay. Individuals who book the 3rd and the 4th week in May, yours will be on June the 20th. Okay. And the reason why it's set like that is because originally my practice had not been closed the first week of June. I would have been seeing folks on June the 7th. But by my practice being closed June the 7th, it's now going to be for June the 13th to make up for that week. Another thing you're going to see on the website is I normally do intakes on Mondays, but by my practice will be closed on that Monday and it will reopen on that Tuesday. I will be doing intakes that Tuesday. Okay. And even if you book with me and you just say, well, I'm going to wait until Akina comes back in June, that's fine too. It will still be the same thing. Your first follow-up would be on June the 20th. So those follow-ups are 45 minutes. My advice would be to get a spot I have morning and I have evening appointments from 4:30. Evening appointments are from 4:30 until 6. And morning appointments are from 10 a.m. until midday around 2. Okay. And if you so happily go and you try to schedule a follow-up with me and I'm completely booked up, just know it's just due to my practice being temporarily closed for that week and a half and clients really trying to get on the schedule. Okay. So, like I said, each time you come to me and you have a session with me, I'm going to let you know when your next follow-up day will be to keep you and I both on track. And this is why I keep all this stuff on paper, you guys. And this is why I have the booking calendar. And no one should be booking on the established client care calendar, continuing established client care calendar. That calendar is strictly for those who have had their sessions with me. You've had 6 sessions with me. I've seen you for 3 months, and now you're graduating to another chapter in your life. And that calendar is on my booking calendar way at the bottom. And that's for continuing care of my, current clients who feel that they need additional services and resources. Okay. So the book with me free consultation calendar is really for people who have more questions. You want to get a feel about my practice. You may have more questions to ask me. That will give you the opportunity to kind of get your feet wet with me before you actually book with me. Now, when you do book with me, that is a web conference consultation. That is 50 minutes. And I can tell you right now that I have I believe 6 to 7 slots available on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And speaking of that, since I will be doing intakes on June the 10th, I will not be doing any kind of one-on-one consultations like when you would just go in and book with me. I will not be doing that day. I'm going to make sure that I go into my calendar and close that day off so that you guys don't book on that day when I do come back. So I will be doing any kind of booking sessions, and that would, be where you would go in and, I would have your plan ready. We would go over your plan and everything, kind of get an outline for your plan. And then you would just, schedule with me for your follow-ups. So since I will be doing intakes on June the 10th, I will not be doing any kind of wellness sessions that day. So I do need to go in and close that off my calendar so that you guys don't go and book in on that day, because that day will be for intakes of new clients. And you would either have the option to schedule with me as a new client, either for June the 11th or 12th. Those would be your only 2 available days to actually book a session with me. And then from there, you would schedule your follow-up. So I know that this is a lot, you guys. I am going to be working on a newsletter, and I will be putting that on the website here over the next couple of weeks as my practice is starting to temporarily close. And then, when I return back to the practice on June the 10th rather, I would be good to go. A new start, new transition, new transformation, new home, pretty much a new beginning. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. My objective was maybe I needed to extend the closure out until that Friday, but I says no, because I really don't want my clients to go that long without seeing me, especially if you pay for these services. I don't want that to be extended out too long. So I have to keep that in mind. Also need to keep in mind, for installation of certain things in my house, internet and things like that, I need to let the techs know that, hey, I need these services up and running in my home before June the 10th. I need it, the latest June the 9th. I need everything up and running in my home early, even if I have to get a tech in my home to do this ASAP. So I figure that week and a half should give any tech any time to um, get into my home and get internet and things installed and put into my home, so that that's not disrupting any services that I have with you guys and any sessions that I have with you guys. So all of this information is going to be on the website. And if I feel like you've booked the wrong date, I will let you know. I will either text you or call you or email you and say, hey, you booked on the wrong day. Here's the correct day. Is this day or could this day work? Okay. My advice would be to keep all appointments and to keep track of all appointments. In the future, I will be sending text reminders to my clients. As you become clients of mine and you become very acquainted with me, I will be sending out automated text reminders, reminding you of your appointments and times. Um, and you will be able to text message me back at the business number for cancellation and reschedulation of your appointments. So please be on the lookout for that. That is something that I will be doing in the future, sending out automated text reminders and appointment confirmations if you're going to be able to make it to your appointment. The same thing applies if you know that you're not going to be available on a day and time of your scheduled appointment for follow-ups. Please cancel 24 to 48 hours in advance, because if you don't, you can be charged a late fee. And there is a policy on my website for that. So I would just advise all of my clients to make sure that you are at all of your appointments. And even with the follow-ups, even though I do follow-ups by phone, I still contact you to do your follow-ups, even though it's all going to be done on the phone. So you either have the option to do it by phone or video chat. Um, and that is in regards to where your progress is. If you are working on certain goals in your wellness plan, like for example, losing weight or something like that. I do like to see my clients to see how things are with you physically, mentally, and emotionally, as well as spiritually. So I like to be able to have a quick video chat with you just to see how you're looking, just to see how you are overall physically, how we are mentally and emotionally, as well as spiritually. So even though I may do a phone video with you, I may then move our session to more of a webcam session towards the end, just so that I can evaluate your progress. So just keep that in mind, that not all follow-up sessions are done on the phone. I have some clients who are open to only just doing webcam sessions because they're open to that. This gives me the opportunity to see where things are at with you and to have that face-to-face interaction, because you're not actually coming into my practice. In the future, I will be doing in-person sessions. I will be doing in-person sessions in person in the future, but for right now, everything is done telehealth wise. And I just want to make sure that my clients are in good shape and taking care of themselves and overall, are healthy as you're becoming a client of mine. You are literally my responsibility. So it's my responsibility to make sure that you guys are okay. Now, another thing I will be probably doing in the future is actually going to visit my clients in person. Okay. So that may be something that I may do in the near future. Okay. So, and I don't have a problem meeting my clients in person. An example would be individuals in rehab facilities, nursing homes, assisted living programs, things like that. And for that type of service, there would be a form that you would need to sign if you're okay with me seeing you in person sessions. I would see my clients in person. And that would be for larger groups of people that I would service in a particular area, where I would absolutely just come up and see you guys in person. There may be something that I do in the near future, you guys. Um, I do have doctors and hospitals reach out to me about servicing some of their clients, like doctors' offices, things like that, where they may want me to come in and see their clients, at the practice or at a private facility where I can service larger crowds of people. And for that, that would require me to travel. Okay. Um, of course, that would be an additional traveling expense if I were granted that opportunity. Um, since I am licensed to meet clients in person and virtually, um, I would do that, but that would be an additional travel expense that these facilities and facilitators would, be charged. Or even if clients tell me that, I want you to come and see me in person, that would be an additional traveling expense to accommodate my clients. Okay. So it is something that I will be doing in the near future. Not right now because um, I really just want to keep everything very virtually right now. And I know with everything going on with COVID and all of these things that are going on politically and climate wise, I just want to look out for the safety of me and my clients. So the only requirement that I need from you guys, if you are going to be getting sessions from me, is to make sure that you do your required paperwork, get all of that submitted in before you book with me. Uh, you can go and book on the calendar with me, but if your paperwork is not submitted in before you book with me, I will cancel your appointment and you will have to reschedule. Okay. So first thing first is to make sure that you get all of your required paperwork in and on time before you book with me, and make sure that all of your payments um, are rendered at checkout before you book with me. Okay. So my advice would be to do your required paperwork, submit that paperwork in its entirety. Once I email you back to verify that I have all of your verifying documentation, you would then go ahead and book with me. Okay. And you would book with me, and then you would go ahead and take care of your sessions and everything. Since you guys will be paying up in advance for the whole entire 3-month plan package, that is why I'm advising my clients, when you do book your first session with me, you go right ahead and book your next follow up. You book your first follow up. And if you want, you can then go ahead and book your next follow up once you've had your first follow up with me. And that's how you guys need to do that. But before you book with me, before you take care of anything with payments, you want to make sure that all of your required documentations are in. And you guys are going to email your paperwork to me at Akina's Garden Healing at gmail.com. That's where all of your paperwork is going to go. Please make sure you put in the subject line your name and whatever information. I think there's something on my website that tells you what to put in the subject line. Put that in the subject line and then put your name in there, or put your first initial, last initial, so that I know that this is your paperwork. Okay. So you just want to make sure that you get your paperwork in on time before you book with me. Okay. But other than that, you guys, that's it. I know that this was a mouthful. I know. This is a lot of information. All day yesterday I had some paperwork to do with the state, and I'm actually waiting on one of my companies to get back in contact with me. There was So I might have to get back in contact with them if I don't hear from the company. This has nothing to do with the business or anything, you guys. I just need to update some information with this company here for part of my system. So I will be getting back in contact with them to follow up with them via email about the process and what's going on with verification of my account. I know, like I said, I know that this is a lot of information, and I just want to make sure that you guys understand how this process is going to work. Um, and like I said, if you guys have any questions, you can definitely shoot me an email and I will respond back to you. There is a contact form on my website, which you would fill out and send me a message. It goes straight to my business email. And from there, I can correspond with you. Once I get your number and I get your name, I will be able to send you text reminders for your appointments and any updates for the website. That will be in the near future. But each time you guys go to my website and you book anything with me, you're automatically going to be sent an email confirmation, scheduled appointments with me. And then from there, you can confirm if you're going to attend your appointments or not. Um, Text reminders are just going to be appointment reminders, or like I said, any updates about the website or any additional news information about the website. Um, Even if you guys go and you purchase something off of my website, you will be getting email confirmations. At least that's how everything is set up. And I know that I will be doing local things here with my website and some of the products and merchandises that I'm going to be making and selling. Um, and for that, you will be getting a shipping email confirmation with your tracking information on there. So I just wanted to get on here and update you guys on what's going on, what to expect, and what you need to do as you're scheduling your appointments with me so that you're fully aware how you need to schedule. So, if you guys have any questions, shoot me an email or you can call me on my business number and I will get back to you. I will get back to you guys. Or you can leave a message on the website. Okay? Any suggestions, any concerns, you can definitely call me or message me there, either on the business number or on the website. But other than that, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. I got to finish cooking. I didn't want to be on here long. Let me add this last announcement on the website, and then I have some things I have to take care of with the state and some other things. And I will see you guys next week. So take care.